All right. Again, uh, so as not to corrupt, if you will, the message, the integrity of the message, through laughs or through tears. By the same token, if you will, same principle, same idea. You see, I present these segments very simply, not dressed fancy, not going to. There's no lies. And that's what I mean by simplicity and my presentation. That I'm not feeding you any truth in between any lies. You just get truth. I'm not trying to sell you anything, and I don't want you to buy anything. I want you to love and take it from there with truth. Start with love and look for the truth, and you will find everything you are looking for, or you thought you were looking for, and more. And sometimes, and in that path, you find out that there's some things that you thought you were looking for that you can't find because they're a lie. And that will help you understand that the only thing that is truth. And lies do not exist. The only thing that exists is truth. You'll understand that. But, and by the same token, my segments are all, you're going to come to understand that one way or the other. But by the same token, my segments are kept as simple as possible and unpolished, if you will, in maintaining that simplicity. So it's not that I don't put a lot of time and effort in, put all the years of my life in every word that I've written and every word that I've spoken in these segments. It's that I keep them unpolished so that you know from where they came. So I'm going to give you a story, and I'm going to talk about parables, stories, parables, not just stories, later, and their importance, and how they provide multifaceted truth for multifaceted audiences and reveal multifaceted stories, multifaceted prophecies, if you will. Okay. The parable, and this is, if you've heard this one before, then you're probably one of the people who are holding truth hostage. Parable of the wickedness between two brothers. The master of a house hired two brothers to oversee his house, and he then left them in charge, leaving them in charge. The brothers had wickedness between them, and they drank of the master's wine until they were drunk. And as they were drunk, they could not contain their wickedness, and their quarrel became a scuffle. And several of the servants were injured, and the house was torn apart. And the servants decided they would seize them, lest the master's home be destroyed. The brothers retreated, one faster and closer, towards their room, and away from capture. The brother first to their room locked the door on the other. Imagine that. The servants seized the other, and tempted they were to beat him, even kill him, for what he and his brother had done, for the damage was severe, as were the injuries they had sustained. For the brothers were large men, of keen wit, charged by the master to care for his servants and his house. They were hired for their size and skill, thus the extent of their damage. The seized brother they bound, and he was tired, beaten by his brother, and weary from the wine. The other brother refused to exit, and the servants thought it best for him to remain there until the master returned, for the house could sustain no more damage, and they knew well their master's rules of not damaging his house, and there will be no beating of any man by anyone other than the master. So when the bound brother calmed from his drunkenness enough to look about, and he saw the damage to his master's house and the injuries to his master's servants, he was remorseful. He knew he had done wrong. Think about where that comes from. And he was moved with compassion for them, as he saw them trying to dress their wounds and repair the damage that he and his brother had caused. They were so fearful and still in shock from the wickedness of those two brothers, of those, and those who were hired. They were so fearful and still in shock from the brothers' wickedness. And these were the things the master hired the brothers for: to repair his house and to tend to the needs of his servants, because they were smarter. The brothers had it going on. That's why the master hired them, because not only did they have the physical attributes, but they also had the, if you will, the intellectual attributes to heal and to repair, as well as protect, so on and so forth. That's why the master hired them in the first place. And here the bound brother is watching them have to tend to their own wounds and repair the master's house, which is what they were there, supposed to be there for the first place. And the servants, they knew that the damage was severe and that the master would be furious upon his return. And the servants were weary of the bound brother at first, but he was in no shape to challenge their number, and both they and he knew his brother had thrown him to what they both the brothers thought would be his death by locking him out. So the servants were weary of him, but they unbound him. And when the master returned, his servants told him of all that had happened, and he found the brother tending to the wounds of his servants and repairing his house. When he saw the master, that brother humbled himself to the master and apologized and asked for his forgiveness, that he may repair that which he and his brother broke and tend to the wounds that they inflicted. Then he will leave the master's house. And the master of the house told him, You will stay in charge of my house, as I see you understand my rules and their wisdom. Therefore my forgiveness and mercy you shall have. But where is your brother? And the master found the other brother locked in their room. And when the master entered, the brother told him he was sorry and asked for his mercy. The master said, "What mercy have you shown me? What mercy have you shown them? What mercy have you shown even your brother?" Now the brother who was locked in the room had been listening, and he knew that he could not lie to the master. So he said, "Please have mercy. I feared what they would do to me." And the master told him, "You fear them because they fear me, but you do not fear me. And you would have me return to wounded servants and a wounded house. You must leave."